Live. All right, there we go. Oh, it says I'm live. Cool. All right. Cool. Hi, guys. Says someone is early, always. I'm new. What to expect. I've been helping Evercons for years. You guys are friendly. That is adorable. All right. Hi, friends. I'm going to type in a howdy howdy. Cool. Happy Saturday. I'm happy to see you all here, or, be vaguely aware of your existence. Can you guys hear me or see me? Yes? No? Yes, someone says that you're adorable. All right, cool, you can hear me. Good morning. You have to excuse that I have a very slight cough today. Hopefully it's not going to be a cold. It just hasn't gone away. Hey, morning. Morning, yes. Okay, so I've written down the questions that everyone asked from the great big form that was sent out. So I'm going to go over some basics first. All right, there is a 5-second delay. All right, cool. Hi folks, my name is Marissa. I'm over here at the SPJA office, or as I like to pronounce it, SPUJA. Welcome to volunteering for Anime Expo 2019. It's going to be an awesome year. Thank you all for finishing all of your requirements and making it on time, no less. So I'm going to start off with some basics of things that are coming up. The first is everyone's hot topic of the day, which is hotels. And if at any moment that, you guys can't hear me or if something weird is popping up, go ahead and put it in the chat, which I think is somewhere this way, or this way-ish, somewhere around here. On the side, or at the bottom, depending on what kind of device you're using. So, hot topic of the day, hotel walkthrough. So, the timeline is that on May 7th, what was available to everyone was the distro list to show you what day are you signing up. This is so that you know, hey, my BFF is in day neg 1, but I'm in day 0 because we're in different departments. That was the chance to sort that out. Miss Howdy Howdy. Alright, that is my name now. If you follow what's in the announcement, literally step by step, that is exactly how to sign up for housing. It's laid out every step of the way, showing every single thing you should click, where you should click it, and what you'll see. And the big thing to note is, rule number 1, you can only room with the people who are coming in the same day as you. That means that if you are coming in day 0, and your friend is coming in day 0, you two can room together. But if you are coming in day -2, and your buddy's coming in day -1, you cannot room together. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, to remember about housing, is you can only sign up for housing once, and you can only sign up yourself. So by once, I mean you can't sign up for multiple rooms. That's why we stick it on Shiftboard. We had the problem where people kept signing up for this rooms over and over, and next thing you know, Fluffbud McMutterson had 8 rooms, just because they were trying to hop from room to room. So if you need to change which room you signed up for, you can go back to that exact same page that you were on, and click the unconfirm button on your shift. And that'll remove you from that room, allowing you to select a different room, if that helps. My left, your right. Okay, so your chat thing's this way. That's my left. Yeah. Okay. If anyone has further questions about hotel, stick them in the chat. I'm going to see if there's any specific things I can help answer further. Otherwise, that great big announcement document should be able to give everyone all the instructions that you need. How it's going to work is at noon on Monday, May 13th, according to the bunny calendar over here. Yes, I have a bunny calendar. It is adopted bunny calendar. At noon on that day, at Pacific time, the shifts will appear on your shift board. So you can go onto shift board and you'll see the room shifts at that time. At that point, you can begin that sign up process. So it hasn't started yet, and so if anyone says they've already signed up, there's nothing there and I'm not sure how they did it. Alright, parking walkthrough. So the two ways you can get a parking pass is 1, form a carpool of at least 3 people. So you need 3 people associated with the car. They can be physically in the car, or you might have dropped them off, or some other case, but you need 3 people associated with the car. That includes the driver, so it'd be driver plus 2 people. The other way to get a parking pass is in the housing process, you'll notice that at the very top of the columns are things that say, I don't need hotel, give me a parking pass, or something similar to the lines of that. It's basically very straightforward a sentence that says, like, give me a parking pass, I don't need hotel. That's the commuter pass, and that's meant for volunteers who are not going to be staying at any of the hotels that or lodging that we're providing, and who are going to not be applying for any kind of housing reimbursement. So for them, we can get you a parking space so you can commute back and forth, which is convenient if you happen to live in LA. The other option, so those are the 2 options you can get a parking pass from us. If you want to buy your own parking pass, we're not going to stop you. Each of the venues where we have housing does have the option for you to just purchase your own parking pass, but I can't confirm the pricing they have on it because they are an external venue. Can't bring 2 ghosts. Well, I mean, if the ghosts are fully onboarded volunteers who have finished all of their requirements and everything, then technically they count, they just have to be volunteers. I hope none of our volunteers are ghosts, because that would mean they're dead and that would be bad. Looking at the chat here. Can I post it? I'm looking for 2 co-ed roommates on shift board. There's a different place and time for that. I would say use the volunteer Facebook group. It's very active, it's adorable, everyone's super friendly. And so yeah, no, it does not have to be full 4-person car. You just need 3 names associated with each carpool parking pass. Okay, carpool sign up. We're gonna create the carpool sign up a bit later and hopefully send that out. I know that some people have started organizing one in the volunteer Facebook group, so that one's available to use too. I'll copy pasta things out of that one just when we make a real official one. We haven't yet. The next topic I'm going to cover real quick is the new shuttle drop-off spot. So returning volunteers are going to remember that because we moved registration out front, shuttles got moved to West Road, West Street, somewhere over there. Most of the shuttles will still be operating similar to last year, but the volunteer shuttle will actually be dropping off behind the LACC, which makes it actually a lot more convenient for volunteers to get to your HQ because you're literally behind the LACC. And I'll explain more about the best entrances for you to take if you're entering from there in a little bit. Another topic is food location. Anyone going around the LACC or Los Angeles Convention Center, which we colloquially have termed LACC, will notice that the Don Chente building we used last year is literally gone. Like, the building is physically not there anymore. So you can't have food in a building that's not there anymore, right? What we have this year is an air-conditioned tent off the side of the North Apron, which is just to the side of West Hall. So a map is going to come out in the future in your announcement. Oh, did my stream just cut out? Come on, internet. I believe in you. Come on, work for me. Work with me here. Come on, Get me back online. I'm on hardline. What is missing here? Okay. Waiting for... Oh, okay, I'm online. Alright, cool. So, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna ignore the panel warning me that I'm not receiving enough video content to maintain smooth streaming. Okay, cool. I'm gonna trust that you guys can still see it. So I'm gonna keep going with the new food location. It is an air-conditioned tent off the side of the North Apron by West Hall. It's gonna be the similar thing where you pull up your badge, you have a QR code on it, you scan your QR, and you get a meal. And how your credits work is that you can get one meal in the morning for between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then from 4:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. tentatively, we're debating between 9 and 10 p.m. right now, you can get a second meal. So that's 2 meals per day, separated, morning and afternoon. Morning, early afternoon, and then late afternoon, evening. That's the separation. There's someone peeking under my door, and it's real creepy. Okay. So, additionally, in addition to getting your own meal via scanning your badge, you can actually take a photo of your friend's badge, and we can scan their QR, and you can bring them their meal. But you can only do this for one meal. So you can't bring meals to, like, several people all at once. But you can bring it to one person. So this restriction's there just to keep everything smooth and flowing, because it would kind of suck if one person showed up and then picked up all of the meals from the counter, and then everyone who's waiting in line has to wait for them to bring out more food. Yes, and no more stairs. It's actually very easy to get to. We're going to try to put some entertainment in there, in case, like, I don't know, maybe people want to play Smash against each other. I'm an Inkling main in Smash, so I don't know if other people are into that too. Let's go on to the next subject. Volunteer badges now have RFID on them. That means that you're going to have to tap in and tap out as you go around the con. Now that sounds like it might be troublesome, but it's actually not that bad. It's literally a half second to go beep, and you're through. So just try to keep that in mind as you're doing things with your badge, or as you're going around the convention, to remember to tap out after you tap into a location. I will take into account that the comments are showing that people are asking for meals to end at 10 p.m. because there are volunteers scheduled late into the night, which I think I understand, because I know we have rooms that stay open through like 2 in the morning and stuff. So I'm going to see if we can look into that. Let's see, upcoming dates that you want to keep track of. Tentatively, try to pencil this into your calendar for now, but wait for an official announcement. We're looking at June 15th for the LACC walkthrough to show everyone around the building, because if you're a newcomer, this building is shaped funny. Suddenly there's a 3rd floor, suddenly you're on the 2nd floor, but you've just walked in a straight line from the ground. It gets weird if you're new to it, and it gets weird even if you're not new to it. So be sure to come out to the walkthrough, learn about what the building is like, and where everyone and everything is, and where stuff is going to be. Because, you know, I'm talking about the North Apron for food, and it's like, buildings have aprons? Another date to keep track of is June 22nd. We're tentatively looking at the Pallet Party being that day. That's out in Ontario, California, for your departments to prep your pallets that are going to be going to con. Very important, check in with your department managers or division managers or your direct supervisor for more information about that. So going into answering people's direct questions. On the comments I see, can we Postmate food? The answer is, yeah, you sure. But keep in mind that, like, the LACC as a building is very hard to find people in, so if I were you and I was trying to Postmate food, I would go, like, across the street or something, so that they have an address that they can find you easily in. Plus, there's, like, 100,000 people milling about, it's going to be hard to find one person for them to drop off food to. So just being nice to whoever's working that food delivery. And I like to be nice to people. So I'm going to go over some questions that were asked in the giant form, because I did note them down, scribbled them into my notebook and everything, to keep track of what people are asking. So someone asked, when can volunteers use a merch discount, and what is the discount? The discount is going to be a one-time 15% off discount. So you can use it once at the merch booth to get cool AX swag and whatever else is there, and you get a 15% off discount that you can use once. That discount is tied to your badge, so you can't go giving the discount to other people, but it's there for you and you can use it anytime during the con. So any time while the merch booth is officially operating. So be nice to the merch volunteers. They're volunteers with us. Don't make them open an hour early because you want to get your thing like right away. So respect their operating hours. And it is tied to your badge, so one-time use. Keep your badge with you at all times. That's a big thing, so don't forget that. Another question someone asked is, I'm trying to tackle questions over here. I'm going to cover a process for getting badge for friend and family. Someone actually did ask that in the big chat, so I'll cover that in a bit. Will the building be open on day 0 in the afternoon? Yes, but you need a badge to be able to get into the building. Can we bring food into the convention center as staff this year? Yes, but you can only bring stuff that is appropriately sized for personal consumption. So if I showed up with like a fast food bag that contained like a munchie meal or something in it, yeah, it's reasonable, it's personal consumption. If I showed up with like 45 Big Macs, I'd probably be turned away at the door, because at that point, it's not quite reasonably personal consumption. And yes, I know some of us out there will sit there going like, but I will eat 45 Big Macs. But that's all about their rule is, it's a kind of a gray area. You just have to be reasonable thinking about like, what is personal consumption? Something that you would eat in one meal. That's what they'll allow you to bring in. So go ahead and bring in snacks and stuff, but don't bring in like 4 pizzas. Okay. Cool, so those are those questions. The next question I got on this was about bulk purchase of gender pronoun ribbons. I've passed along that information to the appropriate parties. As someone who's from like IT and VR, I can't really give you a good answer on that, so you can probably check in a little bit later. But I wanted to make sure that I got to your question, I saw your question, and I want to let you know that I've acknowledged that it's there, and I've passed the info along. Another question is about the parking pass variants and how to request them. So we already covered over the 2 ways to get a parking pass from us, which are carpool and commuter, 2-2, which is 3 people make a carpool. Commuters don't get lodging or lodging reimbursement. Those are the 2. How to request them is in your shift board. When you log into your shift board, you can click on your own name. It'll take you to your own profile tab where you're going to see your contact info, your address, the stuff about you. That's your own personal page. In one of the tabs, you'll see one that says additional information. Click on that, and in the lower left-hand side, as you scroll down on that additional information tab, you're going to see carpool lines that say carpool 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you have a 4th carpool, you're awesome. But you really just need 3. And you have to enter in your name. Yeah, actually, I think it's carpool 1 through and 3. But how it works is that you have to enter the names of people who are riding or officially in your carpool. So if I wanted to form a carpool, I'm going to actually open up Shiftboard just to be double sure about what this looks like, because I don't want to send any misinformation out. And that if I had Shiftboard that memorized, that would be really creepy. And that I actually kind of do have it that memorized, which is kind of creepy. So, yep, click on your own name. You have to click on Profile first. Profile, then Additional Information. Scroll down, you're going to see Carpool 1, Carpool 2, and Carpool 3. Under Carpool 1, write in the name of someone who is riding with your carpool. So if I wanted to form a carpool of 3 people, that was me, Fluffbun McBunnerson, and Floofles Bonopoulos, his like rabbity Greek cousin or something, it would be, I would go onto my shift board and type in Fluffbun McBunnerson and Floofles Bonopoulos under Carpool 1 and Carpool 2. Then, Fluffbun McBunnerson would log into their shiftboard page and enter in Marissa and Floofles Bonopoulos onto their shiftboard page. Then, Floofles Bonopoulos would log into their shiftboard and put in Marissa and Fluffbun McBunnerson onto their own shiftboard page. That way, all 3 people reflect the same people in the same vehicle. So that's how you are going to enter in your carpool for parking. That is what the VR team will be looking for. And it just popped up in my head that the USC Radisson changed its name. It's officially called the USC Hotel now. So at the USC Hotel, which is where we have all of our parking, because unfortunately this year we do not have any passes available to us at the USC dorms, so all of our parking will be at the USC Hotel. So that is how to sign up for your carpool. Let's see, have I missed any questions? Someone asked, how am I doing today? Outside of the cough, I'm doing pretty great. Thank you for asking, Tyler. You're cool. Alright. Another question is, someone actually asked me, what is your favorite color? Heart, sparkle, heart, swirl, heart, double heart, sparkle, shooting star. Someone actually sent me that. My favorite color is green. Thank you. Let's see. Someone asked, how do I know my start day? The first thing you can check is, what day were you assigned housing? Chances are the day that your manager says you're coming in for housing is the day you start shift. So if your housing says like day -1 arrival, chances are your shift start on day -1. Now if you really want to get more information about like, do my shifts start in the morning, do my shifts start in the afternoon, that is a question for your department manager or your department assistant manager to answer for you. If you don't know who your department manager is, think about whoever it is that reached out to you to interview you, to talk with you, and reach out to them, because they'll be able to feed you into more information. Let's see. Another question is, dorms, how far are the USC dorms to the Los Angeles Convention Center? It's just shy of 2 miles. Like, walking it. I've jogged it before. It was actually kind of pleasant, because it turns out all of the late night fast food places are like right next door, which is kind of great. Blaze Pizza at the middle of the night is a great thing that I did last year, mostly because I was hungry, but everything tastes great when you're hungry. So there's like, I know that there's like a Hawaiian place, there's a 24-hour taco stand, there's a McDonald's, Jack in the Box, there's a Taco Bell, a Yoshinoya, some like Blaze Pizza, a Dog House. There's a bunch of food all around that area, like near the dorms, because it is kind of aimed at college students that are open, I think, through to like 2 in the morning. Last I checked. So there's going to be food there. And yeah, the path that takes you from the LACC from the dorms to the LACC takes you right past all of them. Where do I get my volunteer badge and where do I get my comp badge? Your volunteer badge must be picked up by you, not by anyone else for you, by you at the USC Hotel at the Volunteer Resources check-in. So what you'll need is your photo ID. You need a government-issued photo ID. You can't bring a Costco card, you can't bring a credit card that has your picture on it. It has to be a government-issued photo ID. If you currently don't have an ID, we will unfortunately have to send you back outside to the DMV around the corner to go get a temporary ID, and that's not a fun experience for anyone. So please remember, bring a photo ID with you to get your badge at the USC Hotel. That is where we will be doing volunteer check-in. The exact hours and everything like that will be posted in a later announcement, but just keep in mind that's where you get your badge. As for the comp, I call it the comp badge, but it is the complimentary 4-day badge that's meant for you to give away to a friend or family or someone else. You can't sell it, but you can give it away. Don't use the complimentary code on yourself. Your volunteer badge will get you through con for all of the days just fine. The complimentary badge for you to give away is entered just like a normal, like, it's entered similarly to a normal, like, Eventbrite badge. So, sometime next month, inside your shift board, under that additional info tab we were talking about earlier, you're going to see a little box that says, like, comp code on it. Make sure I read it exactly what it says. It is called comp code, literally comp code. It's on the right-hand column. And basically, you'll get a unique code in there. You can give that to your friend or family or, like, you know, second cousin twice removed, whatever that means. And they can go onto Eventbrite's page for Anime Expo, and you'll see a section that says, like, discount code or enter code here. You enter in that code there, and it populates a complimentary 4-day pass. Select that one, so on and so forth, enter the appropriate information, and they can pick up their badge from registration at con. So, easy peasy, they can go have fun at con with you. Let's see. I'm just looking at the comments I missed so far. Which hotel are volunteers staying at? We have the USC hotel and the USC dorms, so we have both of those locations. Now, the dorms actually set the requirement that they are single-gendered only. Additionally, probably about 3/4 of our available rooms that we have to use in total are at the USC dorms. So only maybe 25% of our available spaces are at the USC hotel. So please keep that in mind when setting rooms, that we have very, very few co-ed rooms compared to single-gendered rooms. But we do have both of those locations. You can't really bring a whole pizza to last you the whole day. That's not... Let's see. Any other questions I missed? Okay, everyone's just discussing food in the chat. I want to make sure you guys know that I am watching your chat for things. Yes. And the rule that we must follow for your badges is that your government ID name must match what's on your shift board and what's on your badge. If you show up and your government issued ID has a different name than what's on your badge, then we actually have to make you wait while we recreate your badge. And that's not a good time for anyone. Gender neutral rooms. We try to handle those on a case-by-case basis. I know there's been quite a few groups on the volunteer Facebook group that's been or chats that have been going along about people forming all of the LGBTQ rooms together, which I thought was super friendly, and I'm like, oh, you guys are so adorable. I think everything's adorable. But we will handle those cases on a case-by-case basis, just to make sure everyone's accounted for. Another question. What are the best entrances to the convention center? Okay, so I have that one written down. In that, since the shuttles are dropping off the volunteers behind the LACC, which is kind of next to the parking area-ish in the back. So if you are trying to get into West Hall, the best way to get in is to go through that parking structure, like just straight through it, and there's going to be a sliding glass door priority entrance. Volunteers can use the priority entrances. And that's the best path for if you're trying to get into West Hall. If you're trying to get into Concourse Hall, I take that exact same path because it drops you off right next to those escalators that'll take you straight up into Concourse. If you're trying to get into South Hall, the best path for you is just to go around the building, like around Pico-ish, and hit the main entrance or the priority entrance for South Hall. The main entrance for South Hall is on Figueroa, so keep that in mind, that there's probably going to be a lot of people going over there, so I would loop around to that priority entrance off to the side. And this is just from things that you'll probably benefit a lot from, like from checking out the walkthrough. Let's see, make sure I don't miss any question. If a volunteer recently changed their legal name, they should change it on Shiftboard too. Yes, please change your name on Shiftboard to match your legal name. Because we're going to be basing everything off of ID. The reason we have to base everything off of ID is that there may be security checks on your badge. Like if the security officer or whoever's doing security, or if your badge has any kind of problem at con, and like maybe you're trying to tap at an RFID point and it blinks red for whatever reason, then you just have to show that your ID and your badge match. If your ID and your badge doesn't match, that becomes a big problem. VRs that come over and change things around. It's not going to be convenient for anyone. So yes, the reason that your ID must match your badge is for security purposes, because that is how people will verify your badge to you. Let's see, another question is, what if your Shiftboard is your middle name and a last name? Do you still have to make a new one? If your middle name is on your photo ID, then it should be okay. Or your government-issued photo ID. So you have to make sure your middle name's actually there. I bought an attendee badge. Can I transfer it to another person so I won't take the reimbursement anymore? That is a question for registration. I don't know the exact answer for that. I believe that transfers may have closed, but the volunteer badge reimbursement process is like, if you bought an attendee badge and you want to volunteer, basically after you finish con, you just have to confirm with your manager that you have 40 hours, or at least 40 hours listed on Shiftboard, and we'll go in and we'll, what's the word? There's going to be a reimbursement form for you to fill out, attach your receipt to, and you just follow the directions on that, and you'll get a check back for the price of that badge that you got. Let's see. If name change, let them know. Cosplaying while volunteering. You can cosplay while volunteering if it does not get in the way of your volunteering. So if you're in a department that has a dress code, like for example, some departments have to work with the guests of honor. They have a dress code. So you have to, in the best words, you gotta adhere to that dress code first. Or if you're in a department that does not have a dress code, whatever your cosplay is can't prevent you from doing your duties as a volunteer. So like, if you have a whole bunch of claws on your hand, chances are it's gonna be really hard to type. So you just have to use a lot of like logic here to say, is this cosplay going to mess with my ability to volunteer? If the answer is yes, then don't cosplay while you're volunteering. If the answer is no, like, I'm just gonna wear my favorite, like, Link's jammies from Wind Waker or something, that's not gonna get in the way of anything. So, it's one of those, like, if your department has a rule against it, keep that in mind. If your department does not have a rule against it, also keep in mind being able to do things, like, smoothly. So chat with your department manager about that one in particular. Can we get a map with the priority entrances in an email before con? It would be extra awesome to get it before the walkthrough so people can see it on the map. Alright, that is a good idea. I'm going to actually pull out my handy dandy pen and write this one down. So let's include it in an announcement. So send out map with entrances marked. And let's mark the shuttle spot too. And shuttles. And VRHQ before walkthrough. There, I have written that one down because it is a good idea. Is our badges getting shipped to us? The volunteer badge must be picked up by you in person. You can't send anyone else to get your badge. It's not getting shipped to you. The comp code badge is also one of those must pick up at on-site things. Mostly because it's a little too late in the game to start to mail out those badges. Let's see. Yes, we are in Blue's Clues. It is my handy dandy pen. Yes, we are. Alright, back to the questions that we were asked earlier. Guide to housing signups. I think we mentioned that at the beginning. Where do you put your availability for volunteering? That is okay, So let's say that there's a concert coming up that is like of your favorite artist ever, or there's a panel with your favorite content creator ever, and you really want to get to it. Where do I tell people that, hey, please don't schedule me for day 3 at 3 p.m. There's something I super want to do? That's a discussion with your department manager because they will be creating your schedules. Additionally, the official schedule isn't up yet, so it's going to take a bit of time for that to go, or for you to really figure out what's going on at con. But individual scheduling and availability at con is a discussion between you and your department manager or direct supervisor. Let's see. USC dorm parking passes. Unfortunately, we do not have any. We were not given any parking passes for the USC dorms. Previously, you were able to buy your own passes at the help desk for the individual dorm locations, but I can't neither like confirm nor deny that because I don't know for sure. So that is kind of one of those weird cases. I'll see if I can look into whether or not we can actually get parking passes there, but that has been a thing in the past. Final date for standby. So, final date for standby is kind of tentatively based on hotel, because at the end of this month we actually have, like, pretty much right, like a day or two after we close off housing, we have to submit all of that information over so that they can start entering it in to set up housing for everyone. So I don't have a firm date on that yet. Let me confirm with other people again about what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do when it comes to that. Let's see. My planned roommate is coming on day 0, but I am assigned day -1. Can I get reimbursed for just 1 day? Technically, yes. If you go out and you purchase housing for just 1 day, then you can get a $25 per night per volunteer reimbursement for that 1 night. Now, if you're the only one in there, you're only getting a $25 reimbursement. But if you're going to be doing something like that, please email vr@spja.org about it so that we can move you from day -1 hotel sign up to day 0 hotel sign up. This is just to make sure that you get to sign up with the appropriate people. I can't attend upcoming meetings because of distance. Can we get info via email? Yes, the information we cover in meetings like this will be covered in emails, announcement emails. Shiftboard does not have a middle name field. Hopefully that's not a problem. How do one get hotel vouchers? I'm not sure what the question is. Please contact your department manager. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with the questions being asked in there. I will come back to that. The other thing is, if you're coming in day -1, but your roommates are all assigned day 0, you cannot get a commuter pass for just 1 day. However, if you have a carpool listed for those roommates coming with you on day 0, then you could just get a carpool pass for your day -1 and then move back and forth accordingly, and then room with everyone on day 0. But that's on you to drive back and forth for that first day, and it's going to be pretty tiring. Let's see. That is those questions. Another question is South Hall access restricted after some certain time? I don't have a direct answer for that one. It likely is yes, as a security feature to start locking down areas of the convention center. So keep in mind that your badge will assign you certain access to certain areas. If you don't have access to that area, then your access matches that of a standard attendee. Let's see. Do volunteers have to go through bag check? The answer is yes. Even I have to go through bag check. But the trick for bag check is usually I don't go for entrances that are really visible. I go for like the less visible ones because they'll have much shorter lines. And I keep my bag already open. And I like to store a lot of my stuff inside of like my own department HQ or inside the volunteer bag check area so that I don't have to go back and forth with it a lot. But yes, every single person must go through bag check. Let's see. And I'm going to see if any other questions popped up in there since I last checked. How do we get checked into the complimentary hotel rooms for staff that is volunteering 40 hours? Is it through Shiftboard? Is there another way we're supposed to do it? You sign up through Shiftboard. So that lets us know that you are requesting housing, and whether you're requesting housing with someone random, or if you're requesting housing with certain people you already know. Like, there's actually a section that says, randoms, assign me roommates, where if you don't have anyone to room with, you can just choose to have VR choose random roommates for you, and basically we like to choose off of your department, and if your department doesn't have enough people in there, we choose off of your division, then by group. So it's a really quick and easy way to get to know other people in similar departments to you, and that for, I'm not gonna lie, like for 5 years straight I did randoms. It was kind of great, because I got to know like lots of people. So yeah, you sign up through Shiftboard. But when you check into the hotel or the USC dorms yourself, you must bring a government-issued photo ID and be prepared for them to put the security deposit hold on a credit or debit card. So I hope that makes sense. Actually, that's the USC hotel where it will require a security deposit. The USC dorms will not require a security deposit. So through Shiftboard, or is there another way that we were supposed to do it? Okay, so I got that answered. Is the accessible shuttle running the same way as last year? Also for lodging, if we need an accessible room, how do we make that request? Please email vr@spja.org so that we can better understand how to meet your needs. When checking into our rooms, we must check in at the time the shift says when picking rooms, or what is the latest to check in? Okay, so I think I'm just going to explain a few things to try to understand that question a little bit better. Which is, okay, I'm going to answer the first part of that question. You need to get your badge before you go to shift. So the first thing you should do is visit the Volunteer Resources check-in area at the USC Hotel to come get your badge. The shuttles will be running on day -2, so you can get there, get your badge, then go to shift. And as for checking into the lodging, I believe the USC Hotel starts check-in around 3 or 4 p.m., somewhere around there. You might have to check with the hotel itself directly to figure out if they've made any changes between now and then. But if your arrival day is day 0, then you can check in after the allotted check-in time at the USC Hotel. At the USC dorms, you can check in any time during that day. And yes, I have checked in at 1:30 in the morning to the USC dorm before. The person was surprised to see me, and I was surprised to see them. But it worked out smoothly. I was the only person in line at 1:30 in the morning. So, yeah, the USC dorms is one of those check-in anytime things. USC Hotel does have, you can only check into your room starting after a certain point in that day. So, and it's a hotel. You could check in at like 1:30 in the morning if you want. Let's see, back to the comments area. I'm gonna scroll up real quick. People are making jokes about my handy dandy pen. Okay. Ooh, reimbursement for commuting via public transit. I'm gonna also write down that one because that is a good idea. I do love public transportation. I love biking. So I'm gonna write that one down too. Possible in the future. Probably not for this year because we don't have it planned for this year. Alright, reimbursement for public transport. If someone wants to try to volunteer last minute before opening day or the week, is that possible? we will continue accepting attendee volunteers, which are the ones who are doing 4 hours to get a 1-day badge. And yes, I did that for 5 years before becoming a 40-hour volunteer, so that was a fun transition. You can do that all the way up to con, as long as your background check clears before you start to volunteer. So if I wanted to be a 4-hour volunteer and I've never been to any kind of Anime Expo thing before, so I don't have anything on there, I can go in June and just sign up for Shiftboard, get some info, fill out my stuff, do my background check, and if it clears in time, I just walk right in, say like, "Hi, I'm here to do a 4-hour shift," and they'll be like, "Awesome, we have a 4-hour shift ready for you," and you can go explore pretty much any department requesting the attendee volunteers. You go in there, you do 4 hours of stuff, and you're like, it ranges from things like, "I'm gonna hold this stopwatch and make sure no one hogs this cosplay set for like forever," or things like, "Hey, I'm going to point to this room like this," and just say, "Go this way." Simple things, and you get a 1-day badge for every 4 hours worked. You can earn up to 4 badges this way, and you can use those badges on both yourself and for other people. And you can earn up to 2 badges per day. So you can continue signing up for that all the way up as long as your background check clears in time. So that's your answer about volunteering. Any chances there will be more emergency response centers besides the one stationed by registration? I don't have a finite answer for that yet. It is something that we'll probably go over during the walkthrough and probably be on those maps that will be sent out before walkthrough about where to find your emergency response centers and where to find EMTs, because they'll always have things on hand like some bandages and ice packs and stuff, because I understand that like, you can accidentally cut yourself, shut a door on a finger, those kind of things happen. Someone says, "Hi Mar, I just woke up." Hi Eileen, good morning. Remind me what's on June 15th and June 22nd. It is the 15th is the potential LACC walkthrough, and the 22nd is the potential palette party. That zoomed around real fast. Oh boy. Food situation. It is Levy Catering over in the LACC area. So you actually, okay, so here's a convenient thing about food being on the North Apron. Because it's considered the LACC property, you don't have to go through bag check to get to it. Yeah, that's right. You could just go out and come back in without going through bag check. So that's actually a lot easier and more convenient this year. And yes, 2 meals per day. Hotel reimbursement is not maxed out at $100, because if a volunteer is working day -2 through day 4, they would be getting like $25 per night per volunteer. So if I started on day -2 and I bought my own hotel room at like the Westin because I wanted to be bougie, then I could be like, "Hey, can I get my reimbursement?" If I started on -2, I would get $25 for -2, -1, day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So that's actually 7 days. Now if I had 3 volunteers coming in on day 0, I would only be getting -2, I'd get 25, -1, I'd get 25. Day 0, when I have 3 more people coming in for day 0, that is a $100 reimbursement, because it's $25 per night per volunteer. Now, if those volunteers come in on day -2 anyway, even though they don't start shift until day 0, it still doesn't count, because it's based on when that person gets their first shift. So just to correct that one. What is Palette Party? It is not actually a party, it is a cute alliteration that is transcended time, because, I don't know, I started like well over a decade ago and it was already called the Palette Party. It is a supply and equipment check. We go out to our great big warehouse area in like Ontario, California, and you see if your department's pallets have the appropriate things on it. It's your last moment check to make sure that you have everything your department needs to bring to con. So check in with your department manager to see if you actually need to go to that or what your department will be doing. How far away is the Radisson from the LA Convention Center by the shuttle? So the shuttles are technically supposed to be running like every 10-15 minutes-ish, because it's literally 1.7 miles with 4 shuttles doing that route. So it should be relatively quick. Yes, the USC hotel is 1.7 miles away, and the USC dorms are 1.8 miles away. Oh. So it's relatively quick if we can get LA traffic to cooperate, but LA traffic does not always cooperate because LA. So it varies a lot. How far is the LAX airport from the con? If I were you and I were traveling from LAX, this is coming from someone who grew up in Los Angeles, I would take one of the airport shuttles, like the flyaway bus or something like that, to get to Los Angeles Union Station. And from Union Station, you can hop on the metro, like the subway, like the red line, and get off at 5th and Metro Center to connect to the blue or Expo line. And that'll take you literally across the street from the LA Convention Center. Or you can take it an extra couple stops down, and it takes you out, and it drops you off like right behind the USC hotel, so you can do your check-in like that. So it's not that bad if you're doing public transportation. If you're driving it, I'm sorry, because both the 10 freeway and the 110 freeway are signs that like LA's traffic infrastructure is not ready for LA. I did AtCon volunteering for 3 years myself. Oh, cool. I started doing attendee volunteering with like the 4-hour shifts back in 2007, so that makes me feel extra old. Roughly 2 miles. What you can be. If you're already a 40-hour volunteer, you cannot be a 4-hour volunteer unless you drop from your department, which would be really mean because I'm sure your department likes you. Let's see. It's half-hour drive. My Alex Flyway. Okay, yeah, someone covered that too. Do you happen to know how long the commute would take? To drive it or to walk it? Okay, you can Uber or... For the walkthrough, do we have to go by ourselves or can we bring a kid or two, like parents and stuff? Technically you could only go by yourself. So it's one of those things where it's only for volunteers who have finished all of their requirements. So you can't bring other people into the building, or you can bring other people into the building because the LACC is public space, but you cannot bring them into our meeting space, which would be kind of bad. So I would recommend bringing only yourself, or other volunteers. Let's see. Yeah, don't remind me how bad LA traffic is. Yeah, that is my life. Do you have any pointers for first-time volunteering? Everyone always hears the same pointer from me, but I think it's because it's true. Buy new athletic socks right before con. That is my favorite thing. I believe over here I wrote down my step count for last year. I was just shy of 150,000 steps taken at con for 2018. I hope to break that record this year, but my tips are water, look out for your feet, everyone always talks about showering, and sleeping. Like, those are the big things that'll make you happy. Yes, shower every day, Axe is not a shower, all those things. Everyone always says it. But yeah, I would say look out for your feet, because even if it's not the volunteering that'll get to you, it's the, you're gonna walk through exhibit hall, or you're gonna walk through artist alley, or you're gonna go to panels you like, you're gonna go see that cool cosplayer that's dressed up as your favorite meme. I expect to see no less than like 100 surprise Pikachus this year. I would say like, hey, make sure your feet are comfy. If you're gonna get new shoes, get them now, break them in, go for long walks with them so that they're nice and softened and fit your feet, because don't break in new shoes at con. Get new socks. Plushy socks are great, they feel amazing, and compression socks actually helped me out a lot last year. So those are my quick pros tips. If you're in the USC dorms, like I actually stayed there for quite a few years, I always had soap. They always had like soap, toilet paper, a couple some towels and stuff, but there was one year I remember where I dropped the soap and it immediately like broke into like a ton of pieces. I just walked over to the info desk and was like, hey, I broke my soap into a ton of pieces. Do you know where I can get another one? And they just literally handed me one. So it's one of those, like, if something's wrong with your lodging, go see the location with which you checked in for your lodging. Not VR, because VR can't, walk over there and be like, this person's soap broke. Can you get them a new one? It's just check in with the hotel or dorms first. I'm coming from Texas. I don't know traffic. So I know traffic. Yes, yes. Not much to do. Uber. Buy new socks. Bring your own soap. Sleep is for the weak. I'm weak. I like sleep. I think every day I lose 7 pounds over the 4 days because I forget to eat. Do not forget to eat! You get hangry, and you're not you when you're hungry. So eat. We feed you. And that while I can't confirm this year's menu yet, but I will be doing another live stream later on where I probably will confirm the menu and I'll stick it in an announcement, I can at least say that we made sure that the gluten-free and vegetarian options are not just salads. They're things like, you know, vegan-friendly burritos and stuff like that. So we're looking out for that. Can we bring a friend or two who is/are not volunteers into our dorm? I know we can't let them stay. What if it's time to kill time and chill for a bit? No, you cannot bring any non-volunteer into any of the lodging spaces. That is a liability issue for us and for everyone involved technically. So only volunteers may enter volunteer lodging. So and you can't really bring them in to go kill time. I would say that if you're at the dorms though and you want to go kill time and just chill with someone, they have lounge spaces outside and common areas that are actually really good for that. I know the Cardinal Gardens actually has like fire pits and stuff, which were actually really cool to hang out in. Is the food good? I don't know, I have not eaten it. But I would assume that it's there to help get you through con. It's not going to be like the most like amazing thing you've ever eaten. It's not going to be bad. It's just going to be there to make sure that you're eating. So if you're not a fan of it, or if you have very particular food needs, I would recommend that, like, it's there, you don't have to take it. There's a lot of options nearby. Let's see, we have a 5-2-1 rule. Volunteer get anime Boston. 5 hours sleep, 2 meals, 1 shower, water is good too. My thing is, I always try to push people to get, like, 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, that's the kind of standard of what you should have as an adult. But yeah, that's a good rule to have to make sure you're at least keeping yourself afloat, but we'd like to go beyond keeping afloat and actually being comfortable. Yeah, and try not to take criticisms personally. Attendees will complain about anything and everything. They're not aimed at you. Makes sense. You're 16, baby? Aww. Is that you, Patrick? We'll get any cool takeaway items, hats, or shorts. And, okay, so that's 10 o'clock. I'm going to end this meeting. If anyone has any last-minute questions, please ask them now. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for asking your questions, and I hope I got to them. If I wasn't able to get to your question, or if you feel like you need more clarification, please feel free to email us at vr@spja.org. That is V as in volunteer and R as in resources, @spja.org. And I think I will end this with a little bit of hint of your volunteer swag. You guys are getting a backpack this year. So, cool. Alright. I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna hit the stop button.